You're watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Easley and Ryan Menley.
Hello and welcome to another week of GSI, all Griffons, all sports, all the time.
Should be all Griffons, all sports, all the time. It's Griffon Sports Insider. We begin with football, 3-0 now, ranked number 6 in the nation in Division II. They'll try to move to 4-0 Saturday night in St. Joe against Fort Hays State.
Yeah, they move forward without one of their key players, though. A team captain goes down. It happened in Saturday's win at Nebraska-Kearney, a victory that came at a high cost.
Week 3 takes us to Cornhusker country. Number 6 Griffon football up north, trying to keep Nebraska-Kearney winless on the young season. You know, this one had all the makings of an early blowout. Defensive back Marcus Thompson, this is one of his 2 picks on the day.
Let's go!
His first interception leads to the first score of the game in the first quarter. Dalton Kreisa up the gut, 12-yard touchdown run, his first of the year, 7-0 Western, just like that. Hey, you remember running back Michael Hill and that famous stiff arm he used to put on people? Well, now you have the quarterback trying that thing. Travis Partridge doing a nice job of it. Not quite Mike Hill, but the result is still dirty. Clears a path to the end zone on the touchdown run. Griff's up 21-0. This thing looked like it was going to get out of hand, but then this play in the second quarter changes everything. Wide receiver Tyron Crockham comes up holding his left arm, and that's not good. It's a broken arm for the 6th-year senior captain who finds himself carted off the field.
We were rolling, and Croc got hurt, and it changes.
The injuries then piling up from their long snapper Cameron Glenn goes down with a dislocated shoulder in the third quarter, and everybody just getting hurt, even fans. By the end of the third quarter, this would-be blowout turns to shootout. Kearney quarterback Bronson Marsh starts running all over the place, avoids tackles, goes 19 yards, breaks the plane. Lopers within 11, it's 24-13. Start of the fourth quarter, this thing gets scary. Kearney going for it on 4th and 1. Marsh then proceeds to go on a 52-yard touchdown run. The sophomore QB had 435 total yards of offense by himself. Kearney cuts the lead to 5 with 13 minutes to play. The Griffons need to answer. Instead, they're forced to punt on the ensuing possession, but that's not always a bad thing. It's a fake. Reggie Jordan is going to convert the first down. He is 6 for 7 lifetime on successful fake punt conversions, and that's tops in the entire universe. This drive stays alive, and a few plays later, this.
They throw a corner pass, far sideline, caught by Stephon Weaver. Touchdown, Missouri Western.
Weaver's second touchdown catch of the day. Partridge 22 of 37, 273 yards, 2 scores through the air. Griffs go back up by 11, and they hold on for a 31-19 road victory. Western moves to 3-0 on the season. A good win, but it comes at a high price.
We knew it was going to be that kind of game, a little bit, but it was. I'm anxious to watch the film, see some of the things that happened. Obviously, Tyron Crockett being injured is a big blow. Broke his arm, potentially both bones in his arm, which is not good. We had to fake a punt to keep a drive alive to make it 31-19. Reggie made a great run there on that play. Disappointed how we played, but a win is a win, and it's our first overnighter. It's our first afternoon game. You lose a guy like Crockham. They made a play right before the half, and we just never put them away on offense at all, and we just kind of left them in it, and they stayed in it, and we made just enough plays to win the football game.
Joining us now, head coach Jerry Partridge. We saw it on video, Crockham's injury. Not a pretty sight. What's the latest on him?
Well, it's graphic, but it's hard to deal with. The injuries stink, but yet I've never woe is us. We're not going to be able to survive without this person. And Tyron's a great player, but it's more frustration for a 6th-year senior that has been robbed significant time of his senior year just by sheer unluckiness, and we'll see. I don't know. I think right now the prognosis is not good for his return, but I've also coached a kid that had torn ACL and had a shoulder together with a thread, and played. So we'll see.
Well, unfortunately, injury is part of the game, and that's a position you've got some guys. Next guy up, you've got some guys there that can stand in, don't you?
Well, it starts to get thinner, but Derek Libby. I was asked at the media luncheon about what now Derek. He's got some experience. Well, Derek, it hasn't been like it's been Croc 80, Libby 20. It's more like 50-50, and Derek Levy's a heck of a football player. Now, Derek's had his own injury issues in the past. That's what's scary a little bit. But Stephon Weaver will swing in there a little bit. I think D. Tolliver knows kind of what to do. The guy that's got to kind of probably step up a little bit, it really too, is D. Tolliver and Josh Walker. Both of those guys are talented players that can play. We were really pleased with Stephon Weaver's play last Saturday. Matter of fact, he got our offensive MVP, and that's with a guy that got over 300 total yards of offense. We still gave it to Stephon Weaver because of the type of game he played.
Our defense, very good through 2 games and was good at times on Saturday, but struggled a little bit in the second half. What did you see after going back and looking at it?
Couple things. I mean, I don't think we didn't play our best football, that's for sure. Probably played our worst football. I think probably there's one winning grade on the whole D-line in Austin Baska. I think there's 2 backers, I think, that played good football games, and Steven Juergens and Nick Williams, even though he made some great plays, had a couple key plays that he should have made. He'll tell you that. We didn't play very well at the middle linebacker spot. We made some mistakes. That being said, also, their style of blocking was a factor. I mean, there was low blocking. There was a lot of high-low post-chop stuff that was called. There was something that was missed. And I think it created a little bit of a tentative vibe with our kids, especially in pass rush. And it hurt us because then Kearney got all the momentum. And we never really got it back until we faked the punt.
Nope, you still found a way to win a football game, and that's the important thing at this point in the season. You're 3-0. Try to go to 4-0 this week against Fort Hays State. We'll talk about Hays when we come back.
Now David Bass is going to sling him to the ground, his second sack in this football game.
Spinal sport treatment with Fred, his methods are extremely different from anybody I've ever been with because he takes your injury and breaks it down to a T. I came here right after I had my bone spur surgery for my left foot. He broke my body down, so he kind of went in and took it step by step from my hips down to my knees, to my calves, to my ankles, and fixed everything. I recommend Spinal Sport because of Fred. He has a passion for his athletes and getting people back to where they need to be.
Last time Missouri Western met Fort Hays, September 22nd of last year, the Griffons cruised to a 21-3 victory in Hays, Kansas. Western a perfect 7-0 against Hays since the Tigers joined the MIAA in 2006. Can they make it 8-0? Bo knows.
Well, David Letterman called last week. He's excited about beatboxing. Bo wants to get Bo on the show. Before we send Bo to the Ed Sullivan Theater, big game this week, we need a prediction. Griffons and Fort Hays State. The Tigers play everybody tough, Bo. It's going to be close this week, right?
I talked to head coach Jerry Partridge this week, and he assured me there would be nothing but touchdown passes and stats.
Touchdown passes and stats. Who's going to have a big game this week?
Travis Partridge will complete 67 passes for 677 yards and 10 touchdowns.
That means it's going to be high scoring. What do you think?
Griffons roll 177 to 7.
177 to 7? Sevens are wild. Seriously?
Total pain.
And welcome back. Well, he said he talked to you, so he
does talk to you every week, doesn't he? I thought he did.
Hays fans need to know that I did not tell that to Bo.
Hey, Max is here.
Oh, well, you talked to Max and Bo talk apparently, and Max knows too.
Good thing I'm not Jimmy Johnson and mess my hair up.
Boy,
yeah, you need to
like a Hawaiian or a pocket square. It would be fighting words.
All right, good to see you.
Yep. Okay, you can go now, Max.
Nice job, Max.
That's
thanks.
great.
Yeah. Well, he just gets a little more perky every week, doesn't he?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Travis Partridge, 677 yards, 10 touchdowns is what Bo's predicting. So
Could
again,
happen.
Hays, I don't know where he's getting it.
Well,
I dreamed it.
You know what?
Andre Ware did that for Houston one time, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Never
and
know.
You know what? It actually, that's not too far off because Hays is giving up 543 yards of offense per game. They're allowing 49 points per contest. 0-3 on the season. Lost 43-13 to Emporia. They lost 54-17 to Washburn. Lost 49-14 to Northwest. This is a team that's struggling right now.
I think they've played some pretty good teams. I think certainly they've played some very good offensive teams. I think Washburn, I've seen them on film a little bit now. They're back. I mean, they're back to being Washburn. Emporia's got a very good offensive club. I think Northwest, we all know they're good. So I think they've been in those games until about middle of second quarter, and for whatever reason, I think their youth catches up and they get away. I think they got some talented people, talented tailbacks, talented quarterbacks. So, you know, I mean, Kearney was giving up that kind of yards too last week, and our defense couldn't get off the field enough to help our offense get that kind of yardage. So I've coached long enough to know that every Saturday anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Well, as you look at the MIAA now, we've played 3 games, and it's a clear line of teams that appear to be on top of the league and teams that appear to be struggling right now. You've got Emporia, Missouri Southern, Washburn, Northwest, Pitt State, Missouri Western, all undefeated 3-0. What do you make of it right now?
Yeah, it kind of happened that way last year too, except Central beat Northwest. You know, it was a quick division like that. There's some pretty quality Ophir teams. And, you know, you look at our schedule down the road here, in the last 5 games, there's a bunch of teams that are undefeated, look like they're pretty good. Certainly both Oklahoma teams look like they have something to them. I mean, I think Central Oklahoma looks like they got a very good offense. Northeastern Oklahoma hung in there with Southern. And certainly Hayes, I think, is capable too. So you know, I still stand by a week in and week out in MIAA. Anything can happen. It's just surprising to me that there is that type of division right now.
Coming back home Saturday, as we talked about, against Hayes, you had a great opening night crowd a couple weeks ago against Missouri S&T, and we talked a little bit about that. You know, maybe one of the greatest atmospheres that we've had here, non-Northwest. How big a deal is that as a football coach and a football team, where you're walking down that hill and you're seeing that place rocking?
That is the first September early game, first opening, however you want to call it, opening night game. We're coming down that hill. It felt special and actually gave you some chills, and it was cool to see the fans standing and cheering. It was loud. I even kind of responded and waved at the crowd, thanking them, and I was outstanding. I think it's a credit to our kids, our coaches, the administrators, everybody involved. You guys, I mean, just what we've created here a little bit, and hopefully we can keep that momentum going. It was exciting to see, and hopefully it continues.
Keys to victory, as we talked about, just a team making, you know, vast improvements or steady improvements every week. What's the next logical step?
Well, I think steady improvements are the key. I think defensively, I hope that what we saw the first 2 weeks is what you're going to get on our defensive front. I'm sure of it. We got to play better, and we can't let the quarterback run around and kill us like we did. You know, he had over 400 yards of total offense, and we can't let him run around and destroy us like we did last week. This kid actually is a better athlete than that kid, and so the ability to contain him is going to be a huge deal. Again, we got to cut down on the penalties. We had 7 penalties. And offensively, I think the passing game will continue to get better as it goes, and protect the quarterback. Those are going to be key things.
You know, another thing the crowd usually stands and cheers about?
Easley's tantalizing trio.
They do. They have, at least I'm told, unless you've been lying to me.
I've never seen the crowd do that.
You typically don't lie to me.
Yeah.
But,
No, I don't.
Maybe you do. I don't know. This week, Coach P, our special is spring mix salad, fall mix salad, actually. It's got a poppy seed dressing. And I know how much you like poppy seed dressing. So,
you know,
3 questions.
NCAA positive substance.
I think it is.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just can't win for losing there. You know, I asked you just a horrible question last week, because how could you predict who the actor is that plays you after you die? Because
Correct.
85 years from now, it's hard to say who movie stars will be. So, Coach P, if you could trade places with somebody for one day, anybody, who would it be?
I don't really have an answer to that. I don't think I would trade with anybody. I like who I am.
We like who you are, too.
I like who you are,
I would like
too.
to trade places
Obviously,
with you for a day.
Obviously, another terrible question.
I appreciate it. I'll go with Ryan Menley.
Another terrible question. Oh, thanks. Yeah, chop liver.
Please say you want to do it with
Terrible
me.
question. Obviously, Coach P, you're probably not a video game guy, but I don't know if you knew it's the 25th anniversary of Madden football.
Yeah.
If you could have play with one team on that game over the last 25 years, who would it be?
Kansas City Chiefs.
What year?
What year?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't pay attention to that stuff very good.
Okay.
1993 Kansas City
There you
Chiefs.
go. Amen to that. And Coach P, finally, we've had so much success with fake punts. In your playing career at Missouri Western, were you a part of a fake punt? Did you ever have any success with fake punts as a player?
I wouldn't get us put on a punt team. I did block
Okay.
a couple punts, though. I was involved in that.
He was involved in a couple block punts.
Did you get your son a birthday present?
Yeah,
23
I
on
just
Sunday?
bought him a haircut today.
Haircut.
Bought him a
There you go.
haircut.
Bought him a
for his
haircut,
birthday.
and,
Okay.
and we took him out to eat. So
Okay.
I've given him a whole lot through his life.
Very thoughtful.
Let's celebrate it again with another win on Saturday.
Yeah,
How's that
let's
sound?
do it.
Let's
Yeah.
do that.
I got
Let's see
Something
you there.
better than a haircut, too.
Yeah.
That would be all right. That's Coach Jerry Partridge. We'll see you guys for football Saturday night, 6 o'clock. We'll see them try to go 4-0. We'll be right back.
At neck deep, 700 cubic centimeters of blood is displaced from the extremities back to the heart. What I'm trying to say is, aquatic therapy gets your blood pumping. Power equals 2 times the gravitational constant times mass over the radius from the center of mass.
What'd you say?
Train like the pros and jump.
Well, I was given the opportunity to be a fellowship coaching intern with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's called the Bill Walsh Fellowship Coaching Internship. What Bill Walsh wanted to do is to incorporate more minorities into the NFL, and it's along the same lines as the Rooney Rule with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and as well as has been adopted by the rest of the NFL to give opportunities to minority coaches to experience and network around NFL coaches. Well, I've tried to apply several years now, especially since the Chiefs have been here, and just trying to get my foot in the door to see if that was even a path that I would like. And was just lucky enough to have Andy Reid and Coach David Culley give me a call and ask me if I would still be interested in pursuing that opportunity. Yeah, I mean, that was the very first thing that I was told when I got there. I said, listen, you will be coaching. You will be a helper with the rest of the coaching staff, so as comfortable as you feel to coach these guys, they're going to respect you as such. And that was something that was a great experience for me, because it gave me the opportunity to see, a different side of an athlete. It's not a student athlete anymore. There's a professional athlete who's getting paid to play this great game that I coach. It's a different feeling in that room. But the bottom line is the core of those guys that I got an opportunity to coach is that they wanted to win. And, coming from with the Kansas City Chiefs, it's been a long time coming for them. So they're really hungry for a win.
And welcome back. Good experience for Coach Trotter. The Chiefs are 3-0. We can give Reggie credit for that.
He gets all the credit, I think, but what a neat experience for Coach Trotter. Been a great start for the Chiefs, no doubt. It's been a rough patch of bad breaks from Missouri Western's other football team. Griffon Soccer has lost 4 key starters to injury in the last 10 days. Goalkeeper Sarah Lyle out 2 games with a concussion. Midfielder Casey Ramsell out with a concussion. Midfielder Bailey Durbin out 2 weeks with a severely sprained ankle. And forward Katie Kemp out for the season with a torn ACL. Griffon sit 2-5 on the season and plagued by bad luck.
It's just one of those things when it rains, it pours, and we just got to get through it as a team, and we will.
Well, Griffon Soccer tries to get healthy. A new era hits the ground running.
Yeah, still a few months away from the start of basketball season, but the new look Griffons are already hard at work. Preseason workouts have begun under new head coach Brett Weiberg. Weiberg was hired to replace the legendary Tom Smith last March. Here's the new face of Griffon Hoops, his philosophy in his own words.
Missouri Western has great basketball tradition. Missouri Western has unbelievable fan support, atmosphere second to none. The style of basketball we play, I think, is going to be fun and very appealing to any student athlete that's serious about competing for championships at a high level. A great basketball to me is seeing a team that's unselfish, seeing a team that believes in each other, seeing a team that's willing to play every possession like it's their last possession. I mean, the guys will hear me all the time say, we don't want them to score. We literally don't want them to score. Overall, philosophy-wise, if you're talking about in just broad terms, it's just trying to be your best in everything that you do every day. We have a sign in our locker room that basically states that you're going to walk in through this door as a teammate, but when you walk out, you're going to be a family. And that's really what we're trying to do, is just establish a sense of hard work, a culture that's predicated around being the best you can be and within a family-like atmosphere.
St. Joe's really produced quite a few professional athletes in the last few years. One thing they all have in common is they've all walked through our doors here at Spine and Sport.
I've done stuff that I've never done at any other physical therapy place, and I've been to a lot of physical therapists.
I recommend Spine and Sport because of Fred. He has a passion for his athletes.
I would recommend Spine and Sport to anybody from your average athlete to your professional athlete.
Train like the pros at Spine and Sport. All right, we're ready for test number 3 of the functional movement screen. Test number 3 is called the inline lunge. Again, looking at mobility and stability. We're here with Dalton. He's all set up. He's in his split lunge at his leg length measurement of 17.5. He's got this bar on his back, and we got to keep contact with head, shoulders, and pelvis. Dalton's going to go ahead and lunge down, and as he comes down, he's got to keep his balance on the board, come down and feather his knee, do 3 repetitions. We're looking for his balance. We're looking at how well does that pole stay vertical. Dalton is doing an awesome job demonstrating great core control stability of that test. So Dalton passes this side with flying colors. We're now going to flip him around. He changes his footing so his opposite foot is in front. Lines up at 17.5 again. He goes down into his lunge. You see those ankles working. We're looking at the stability throughout the chain. Ankles, knee, hip. From a side angle, we want to see how straight does that bar stay. So we want him to drop down and for that pole to stay in contact. Getting just a little bit of a tilt forward, but not bad at all. Dalton's doing a great job. Shows us how strong his core is. Injury prevention starts at the core. The functional movement screen is a great test to identify those weak links. If you want your athlete to prevent injuries, train like the pros in Spine and Sport. GoGriffons.com, powered by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy.
Train like the pros, my friends.
Griffon football meets Fort Hays Saturday night, 6 p.m. Wendy's Hall of Fame game. The Missouri Western Hall of Fame class of 2013 made up of 4 individuals, 1 team this year. They include the 1971 Griffon baseball squad, one of the greatest teams in school history, a 33-8 record, and produced 4 individual Hall of Famers off that team. Brooks Barkley, well, he arrived on campus 30 years later to play baseball, and he enters the Hall as one of the greatest hitters in Griffon history. .422 batting average in 2002 was a school record that held until Michael Schultz broke it in 2013. Shelley Lowry, one of the greatest Griffon volleyball players of all time, MIAA Player of the Year in 1994 and 1995. She was an All-American selection as well.
Class also includes Pierre Thomas, one of the greatest football defensive backs in school history. His 14 interceptions in 2003, an NCAA single-season record. And finally, Brad Nursky, one of the greatest golfers in St. Joseph and Missouri Western history, a 3-time All-MIAA selection in his 4-year college career. He's gone on to become one of the top amateur golfers in the state of Missouri. He won the 2010 Missouri Amateur Championship and is still going strong today.
Well, we'll see all those sports figures take their rightful place in the Missouri Western Hall of Fame on Saturday. That ceremony at 9 a.m., the Hall of Fame game 6 p.m. See them get the rings and all that good stuff.
Absolutely, and oh, by the way, pretty good football game Saturday night as well. It's Griffon's take on Fort Hays State. Hey, great crowd in the opener. Come on out and tailgate as well. That parking lot was as good as I've ever seen it very early. The weather looks good again. You're going to be out there tailgating, aren't you?
Well, I will, legally. Absolutely.
Legally, yes, you will.
Yes,
I know you will.
We have to work, so it has to get done early. But, Jerry Partridge mentioned it earlier in the segment, just a great crowd, and that really does help.
Well, it does, and the guys notice it, and so emotional when they come down the hill before the game. People standing, clapping, waving their towels, and, we'd love to see that emotion Saturday night. I think we will.
You want to do role play this week?
I'd love to.
Too bad we don't have any time.
Unbelievable.
That's GSI.
I think I got thrown off after last week. Hey, as always, folks, go Griffs.